The Health Secretary is keen to tell us that this winter the NHS is under unprecedented pressure, and he cites COVID, flu and Strep A. Let me join with him in thanking all NHS staff for everything that they are doing, but they will tell you that this crisis is not unprecedented. It was predicted by clinicians, and in fact fewer patients are being seen in A&E now than before the pandemic. What is unprecedented is that the Health Secretary has been warned about this crisis by clinicians for well over a year, and he's failed to listen and to act on solutions. What is unprecedented is that this government failed to end delayed discharge, something they promised to do in 2015, and 8 years on, it's at record high levels. Dr Ian Kennedy of the BMA is clear that the current crisis at the front door of A&E is because the back door of social care has not been fixed. What is unprecedented is that this government has presided over inadequate workforce planning for the last 15 years, so that we now have 6,400 nursing vacancies, and in some areas 14% of consultant posts lie empty. So let me ask the Health Secretary about the 1,000 additional staff. How many are actually in post, and where are they deployed? Let me also ask him about the extra 300 beds, which will help, I'm sure, but when the latest data reveals a record high of over 1,900 people stuck in hospitals, what impact will that have? And will he give a commitment to removing non-residential care charges and supporting home and family carers, as this will directly contribute to helping to end delayed discharge? And finally, why is the First Minister not here giving the statement as she did yesterday, and has instead sent along her spare?
Cabinet Secretary.
I do of course notice that Jackie Baillie is here, not Anna Sarwar, the leader of the Scottish Labour Party, asking the question. But I'm not going to personally insult Jackie Baillie, because at a time of national emergency, the people rightly expect our political leaders to rise above their petty political differences and work together in this national interest. Let me respond. Jackie Baillie and her colleagues can shout from a secondary position, but I think it's important that I answer their questions on delayed discharge. Let me say, as I have said to Sandish Gohani, that I expect there to be improvement once, of course, we begin to move people from acute sites into these interim beds. So we expect that to be in the short term, and hopefully as we begin to see the levels of flu and COVID abate and reduce, then hopefully that will begin to see an improvement in our health service and in the performance indicators that she references. Look, we have a very proud record. I'm proud myself to stand on in relation to staffing of the NHS over the course of the last 15 years. We have staffing in the NHS at record levels, but Jackie Baillie is right to mention the high levels of vacancies which we are keen to fill. That's why I announced last year additional funding for nurses to recruit nurses from overseas. That was 200 nurses that we committed to last year. I can hear Jackie Baillie shouting from a secondary position. I'm literally answering your question as you are talking. So 200, we promised to recruit 200 nurses last winter. That funding was recurring. We exceeded that. And for this winter, we have said up until April, we will recruit an additional 750 nurses. I believe there's been 126 firm offers, with 455 is, in the pipeline, is what boards expect to fulfil. Now, that is all the way up until April, and I will give a further update as we get towards the end of this financial year. And I'll continue to push boards to go further in terms of the recruitment where they possibly can. On her suggestion about non-residential charges, that is a promise, a programme for a government commitment from us to do so in terms of the abolition of non-residential charges. So I'll continue to work within our portfolio to see when we can do that at the earliest possible opportunity.